Basically, the ecological succession refers to the replacement of one community by another community. In terms of whether the succession has taken place in a newly created land or the succession has taken place on already well developed soil, this can be classified into primary succession or the secondary succession. In case of primary succession, this kind of succession takes place on a newly created land. This land may be created because of the maybe because of the volcanic eruption. Like for example, you have a Deccan basalt. Whenever volcanic eruption takes place, then this lava get spread over a large area. When this gets solidified, then this generally leads to the creation or formation of the new land, which later on is going to get weathered, and that's how the soil will be formed. This new land also can be formed because of the maybe because of the glacier recede. Whenever the glacier recede, then new land is exposed on the surface, or it may be because of the mass wasting also. Whenever the landslides takes place, then the new debris will get deposited over large area. So if the succession takes place on a newly created surface, then it is considered as a primary succession. Whereas if the succession takes place on already well developed soil, then this can be considered as a secondary succession. Whether the succession has taken place because of the uh, activity of a particular community themselves, or this succession has taken place uh, because of the activity of other community, this also can be classified into autogenic and allogenic succession. So in the succession, whether the community itself is involved in their own succession, or it is because of the external influence, this succession can be called as either autogenic succession, or it can be the allogenic succession. In case of allogenic succession, sometime what happens, suppose this is a land and here the one community is already established. So this community basically sometime this plant may modify the climate of this place in such a manner that this climate itself will not be suitable for this community themselves anymore. So this is like a society. So whenever in any plant community get established, then these community themselves modify the environment in such a manner that this environment will not be suitable for this community itself anymore. So that's how this will be succeeded by another community uh, because of their own action. So this type of succession is known as autogeny, because this is the result of their own action. But suppose if this is a plant, and because of the human influence, if the human being, if the somebody cuts this tree, then this tree will be replaced by another community. And the best example of this type of succession is shifting cultivation, because whenever in equatorial area, whenever these rainforests are cut by these people practicing shifting cultivation there, then the new type of vegetation comes up on this surface. So this is called as allogenic succession. Then succession also can be classified on the basis of whether on the basis of whether the plant has been succeeded by the plant itself, or this plant has been succeeded by other animals. So if the plant gets succeeded by the plant, then this is called as autotrophic. Whereas in case of the heterotrophic succession, the plant may be succeeded by some other animal community as well. So this is another type of classification. Generally, in the whenever ecological succession takes place, then there are many process, many stages through which this succession takes place. The first stage is known as nudation. Nudation means the exposure of new land on the surface. This, as we have discussed, this can be either the activity of volcanoes, or it may be because of the glacial recession, or it may be because of the mass wasting. So this process is called as nudation, when the new surface is exposed. Then this surface, this area, this surface will get weathered, and the soil will be formed. And once the soil will be formed, then some seeds will migrate to this area. This second stage is known as migration. So when this soil will be formed, then some seeds of the plant or will migrate to this area. This is called as migration. Then when this migration will take place, then some plant will come up. Then the next stage is known as easis, or it is known as what is easis. So whenever the plant will come up, then you have a what is called as competition among these plants, both in intra-species competition, as well as interspecies competition will take place. So in this case, in the ASS, ultimately some plant will get established. All those plants which will be able to compete with the other plant, then these plant will get themselves established. Hence, once they establish, then they will react with the environment. So the next stage is reaction. So this plant will react with the environment, and the last stage is stabilization. So finally this plant will get stabilized. So this plant will get stabilized in this area, but it is possible that maybe after some period of time, this whole community may get succeeded by another community, and then this another community may get succeeded by another community. So this process will keep on going until the plant, the community that will come in the phase, that will be completely suitable for in this environment, that will be the most suitable community uh, in this particular type of environment. This type of community is known as climax vegetation. Climax vegetation. So this will be called as climax vegetation. But in the environment, it can never ever be assured that this plant community will remain here forever, because a little bit of change in the environment or can lead to the change in this community. So climax, although the concept of climate, according to the concept of the climax vegetation, the climax vegetation is the most suitable community in particular type of environment. But can never ever say that we can achieve the climate's vegetation. And here also one thing you have to remember, that whenever if any one community get established, this stage is called as seral stage. Seral stage. So suppose if you these plant are suppose xerophytic type of plant, xerophytic xerophytic type of plant, then this stage is called as, will be known as zero serine. Or if suppose these plant are hydrophytic, then this is called as, this will be known as hydroserine. So depend upon what type of community it is, this different stages will take place, and this maybe the xeroserine may get succeeded by the hydroserine may get succeeded by another type of plant, and ultimately the climate's vegetation will be achieved.